Welcome back, everyone.
All right. Looks like everyone's here. Guess we'll get started again. All right, so next up, agenda item number 9, the funding opportunities for addressing climate resilience, presented by Jennifer Hecker. The purpose of this is obviously to provide us, CAC, with information regarding funding opportunities for addressing climate change resiliency. Its connection is pretty broad against the CCMP. It supports engagement, restoration, watershed needs, and climate change stressors. So with that, go ahead, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. So we're going to go through some of these, again, unprecedented opportunities coming out of different federal legislation for funding related to enhancing resiliency and climate preparedness. In 2021, there were 20 weather climate events that resulted in losses exceeding $1 billion. And the passage of the $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act in 2021, as well as the 2022 Disaster Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act, has provided a myriad of new opportunities to get funding for projects. And it has also provided additional funding to the National Estuary Program, where it more than doubled funding to the CHNEP. And we specifically are getting our funding through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, which we call lovingly as BILL. Next slide. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Law is providing money not only to EPA and the National Estuary Program, but also to other entities. It's providing $3 billion to NOAA to take action over 5 years in the areas of habitat restoration, coastal resilience, and weather forecasting infrastructure. There are going to be targeted investments that are going to be scalable and responsive to societal needs for climate information and support and leveraging of partnerships. And a significant portion of funds will be issued through competitive grants to organizations to do this on-the-ground work all around the country. The funding is organized in NOAA into 3 main initiatives. There's going to be $904 million dedicated to climate data and services, $1.467 billion to climate ready coasts, and $592 million to fisheries and protected resources. So we're going to go through talking about the different specific upcoming grants. This one from NOAA is called Restoring Tribal Priority Fish Passage Through Barrier Removal. It provides federal financial and technical assistance to Indian tribes and tribal commissions and consortia to remove barriers to fish passage for native, migratory, and sea-run fish. So we know that there's not a lot of these in our area, not a lot of opportunities, but we thought we would still share this if anyone thinks of an opportunity that might fit under this award. This is looking to award projects between $300,000 and $5 million. So big money. You're going to apply through grants.gov. There's the opportunity information number there, and the proposals are due pretty shortly at August 29th, 2022. The next one is Transformational Habitat Restoration and Coastal Resilience Grants. These grants are designed to implement locally led habitat restoration actions that restore marine, estuarine, coastal, or Great Lakes ecosystems using approaches that enhance the resilience of communities to climate hazards. The projects that they're looking for are between $1 million and $15 million each. Again, this is a grants.gov application, and there's the opportunity number, and the proposals for this are due on September 6, 2022. So we do have people that are in contact with us already that are applying for this and looking for letters of support. Please remember that also that one of the ways CHNEP can help is the staff can write you a grant letter of support to accompany your grant application. As a federal agency, that does provide some sway when we talk about how this fits with the CCMP and why this benefits the CHNEP partnership. So next is the marine debris removal. This grant opportunity is for removal of marine debris to benefit marine and Great Lakes habitats and communities. Even though it says Great Lakes there, it also extends anywhere, including all through Florida. They're looking to award projects between $100,000 and $15 million each. They just extended the deadline for this grant to October 5th, 2022. So we have a little bit more time. And it is also an application on grants.gov, and there is the opportunity number, which I believe is going to be listed on the fact sheet as well. The next NOAA funding opportunity is the Coastal Habitat Restoration and Resilience Grants for Underserved Communities. So just be aware that when you look at underserved community maps that are generated at the federal level, that pretty much all the communities going up 17, all the way up the Peace River watershed, those would qualify. Pretty much all the inland counties have areas that are designated as underserved at the federal level. So they're looking to engage underserved communities in habitat restoration activities that promote resilient ecosystems and communities. The project levels is they're looking for any project between $75,000 and $1 million each. And again, grants.gov, here's the opportunity number. These proposals are also due October 5th, 2022. So a little time there if you're interested in pursuing one of these grants. The next NOAA one is the National Sea Grant Marine Debris Challenge. This is to support innovative transformational research to application projects that will address the prevention and or removal of marine debris with award periods of 3 years. They're awarding projects between $1 and $3 million. It's also on grants.gov. Here's the opportunity number. These proposals are due October 13th, 2022. The next one from NOAA is the Coastal Zone Management Habitat Protection and Restoration Grant. It is focused on coastal habitat restoration planning, engineering, design, land conservation projects that support the goals and intent of the Coastal Zone Management Act and the Coastal and Estuarine Land Conservation Program and the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act. They're looking for projects between $200,000 and $6 million. Again, this is available on grants.gov, the application, there's the opportunity number, and the proposals are due October 14th, 2022. The next one is Reconnecting Communities pilot program. This is to reconnect communities by removing, retrofitting, or mitigating highways or other transportation facilities that create barriers to community connectivity, including to mobility, access, or economic development. They're looking to award between $100,000 and $100 million through this program, Reconnecting program. So to find this grant, you will go to grants.gov again, and there's the opportunity number, and these proposals are due October 13th. The next one from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is the National Fish Passage Program, which provides financial and technical assistance for projects that improve the ability of fish or other aquatic species to mitigate by reconnecting habitat that's been fragmented by barriers such as dams or culverts. They are awarding on average around $70,000 per project. There is no maximum funding amount for this grant. And this you apply through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service FWS.gov site under Service Fish Passage Technical and Planning Assistance. These proposals are accepted on a rolling basis, so there's no defined due date. You can apply for them as projects emerge that fit this grant opportunity. Now we're going to move on to FEMA. some of the FEMA funding opportunities. If you're not familiar with FEMA, it oversees several programs that mitigate disaster suffering and produce future disaster costs. Through a declared emergency, FEMA grants are dispersed through a competitive process that runs through each state's emergency management office. We're still getting funding funneled from FEMA down through the state, through the Department of Economic Opportunity, CDBG MIT funds. Those are actually funds that originated with FEMA. Hazard mitigation assistance grants also provide alternative ways of funding mitigation and resilience projects. So you have to think a little creatively, but a lot of these things are linked together. The first one is the flood mitigation assistance grant. This is to reduce the risk of flood damage to homes and businesses. The total funding available under this grant is $800 million. You also apply for these on grants.gov, and there is an opportunity number associated listed here. And the proposals for these are due January 27th, 2023. The next one is the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities, which funds innovative solutions for hazard mitigation projects. They award projects up to $50 million each. You apply again on this one, FEMA.gov, grants, mitigation, building resilient infrastructure communities, and the proposals are due January 27th, 2023. There is additional opportunities coming, in this case, from the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highways Administration. This is Fish Passage National Culvert Removal, Replacement, and Restoration Grants. These projects are meant to meaningfully improve and restore passage for fish. Anadromous fish are born in freshwater, such as streams and rivers, but spend most of their time in marine environments and then migrate back to freshwater to spawn. So we have some of these types of fish that travel back and forth between fresh and marine environments. If you're aware of roadways where there needs to be culverts removed or replaced to aid restoration, this is a great opportunity for that. They award $200 million annually, and you apply here at fhwa.gov. I don't know if that means dot, but DOT, that's right. Okay, so it is dot, standing for DOT.gov. And Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Culverts fact sheet. So there's more information there on how to apply and TBD as to a deadline, but you can start to prepare now if you're interested. The next is the National Coastal Resilience Fund, which is designed to restore, develop, and strengthen natural infrastructure to protect coastal communities. Program funding is up to $492 million. This is the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. So you're going to go to their website, also known as NFWF, nfwf.org, Programs National Coastal Resilience Fund. And the proposals are going to be due in spring 2023. The next one is from the Department of Transportation at the national level, promoting resilient operations for transformative, efficient, and cost-saving transportation, which is a great acronym of PROTECT. This is to build resilient plans to fortify and secure evacuation routes and to increase resilience of surface transportation infrastructure from the impacts of extreme weather events. So earlier we were talking about an inland community that identified that as one of their priorities. This is a great funding opportunity for them to become aware of. They're awarding projects between $200,000 and $4 million, and you're going to apply at transportation.gov, sites.gov, and then you navigate through this link to the fact sheet. The due date for these is TBD at this point, but it's never too early to start to find projects and think about how to access these funds so that when they do come available, you're ready. So these federal funding opportunities are outlined on a new federal funding fact sheet that you can find right on our website at chnep.org/federal-funding. So I encourage you all to download and to share this fact sheet with all of the stakeholders you believe might be interested in trying to access these funds for projects or initiatives that they're working on that are related to these resiliency and storm mitigation. And there's so many ways of looking at this, but you can see they all tie together. It's just